I don't have to be invited, but the party invited all caucus members, and under the law, the last year of parliament, a member is free to cross. I crossed. I submitted the notice of crossing, which was accepted by the Speaker, who is the second deputy chairperson. And I was introduced to the party leadership at the party headquarters. So basically, I'm entitled to attend. It's impossible because I was formally accepted at the Secretariat and received by Secretary General and the second in command in the party. I also gave a notice of crossing to the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and the leadership of Parliament generally and my party. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm legally a member to attend in that caucus.
Do you know some of the things they're going to discuss about?
No, basically I think they're going to talk about the budget. I don't know about other issues. I don't have to be given a space to speak because I'm ordinary member. So I want to attend and participate and deliberate if given an opportunity as a member of the caucus. Yeah.
In today's NRM Parliamentary Caucus, we shall be discussing the budget priorities for the financial year 2026-2027, and item 2 will be the proposed National Sovereignty Bill 2025. The budget priorities will be presented by the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Meanwhile, the principles of the proposed National Sovereignty Bill will be presented by the Minister of Internal Affairs. But we shall also have the keynote address on those two subject matters by the National Chairman of the National Resistance Movement, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
We've had information that Honorable Robert Mao has been invited to serve over to the caucus over the speakership issues. Could you give a comment on this?
In today's NRM Parliamentary Caucus, I am the chairperson. We do not have any invitation extended to any member of the opposition, apart from our special guests who have been coming before, like the Honorable Dr. Kagabo, among others. So we do not have that in today's caucus meeting. Yes.
What about the progress on the...
Yet for the key stakeholders to resolve on the issue of the interpretation of the law on the subject matter for the by-election of EALA. For now, our two members are still members of Parliament of the East African Legislative Assembly, while in Uganda they are members of Parliament elect. That is the subject matter for the Central Executive Committee, not caucus for now.
Thank you so much. My name is Jocelyn Kamatenet, candidate for East African Legislative Assembly. We are going for NRM caucus, and they are going to give us the agenda. As usual, we usually read there. They tell us what we are supposed to discuss. So, and I believe this is the last caucus for the 11th Parliament, NRM members. So, I don't know, but we expect something to do with the budget. Maybe if there is a new law to be introduced, but I believe it is more about the budget. And also, I think to talk about our election for East African Legislative Assembly, since the candidate we are going to choose, or the two representatives that are supposed to be replaced, are NRM members. So it is NRM to choose. The two candidates will be presented to clerk Parliament for nomination next week. Though I don't have any idea about it, but that's what I expect.
As a contestant, there are some proposals or some other amendments you would have loved to come up with. Based on the questions, it is rushed. You would have given it time. What is your opinion about
There
this?
is nothing like rushing. By the time a Speaker of Parliament sits down to write a letter requesting Uganda Parliament to send the representatives, they have already thought about it, they have consulted, And they have done the necessary research, or they have consulted, honestly speaking. You don't expect a presiding office of parliament to make a mistake. I don't believe in that. We are doing our part as Uganda, we are doing our part as candidates, so we are waiting for the date and they vote us. Thank you.
We wish you the best.
What pushed you to say you are going to contest for this?
Oh, one of the reasons why I want to contest for EALA, or for the Member of Parliament to East African Legislative Assembly, you know, since 2012, the EAC put up some agenda. One about industrialization and value addition. It was supposed to be achieved between 2012 and 2032. They agreed that at least the products we export, out of 140% should be products which are ready to consume, value-added products from East Africa. But up to now, it is not yet achieved. And it's our responsibility as leaders to step up and we make sure we add value to our products. How do we do this? We have to set up regional value chain, where you find you don't need to let a country move on its own. We can add value to our products by joining, like Uganda partnering with DRC. They process gold. They can decide to set up a processing plant in Kasese. Recently, you saw our president with the president of Kenya. They were agreeing, or they were launching the standard gauge railway from Mombasa to Maraba, and we are supposed to have ours from Maraba to Mpondwe. Already we have that transport. We have enough energy in Uganda. We have enough land. Our roads are better. So instead of waiting for DRC to move around, yet their minerals are there and they're exporting them in the raw form, they can partner with Uganda and we do that value addition, we process from here. We need to set up zones. We need to prioritize which products we are going to add value. In Uganda, agro-processing is so important. You see, we have coffee, we have cocoa, we have tea. For coffee, we've already started, but look at our tea. Farmers have been crying over miserable prices for their coffee. Why you find a kilo of coffee in Igara costs 7,500 shillings, and a box or a packet of 25 tea bags in Kericho, Kenya costs 18,000. Reason? The other side is well branded, they have packaged it well, they have processed it well, and it is now fetching a lot of money. You can export it any market. But because ours is just putting on a weighing scale and measuring, it doesn't fetch a lot of money. So it's our responsibility as leaders, have that at the back of our mind. We make sure we add value to our products. It is us to champion it. It has to be leaders. So those are some of the reasons. Also the monetary union agenda. They agreed as EAC to have a common currency by 2024. It is now 2026 and we are not yet there. And the reason why, because there are some macroeconomic convergence criteria that they must follow as East Africa. So in Uganda, it might not be possible now, because they say for any country to qualify, at least must have a public debt that is below 50% of the GDP. Ours is at 56. Our physical debt, fiscal deficit, it is more than 3%. So really, we cannot qualify now, and it's us leaders to make sure we stabilize our economy, we widen our market, and we make sure that we have more exports than imports. Other than that, we shall not manage. And that's the reason why I really want to go into this, because I understand what it means. Not just talking politics. We cannot export politics. Every country has got its own politics. We cannot export poverty. So let's try our best. We make sure we do things that we are supposed to do as leaders, and our country shall be fit to be integrated in EAC. Thank you.
Then the NRM Caucus, the member wa Chibina, okuva lwenasala eddiiro okuva mu FDC ekibiina nekinzikiriza ku Kyaddondo Secretary General ne Honorable Anita who is the deputy and I'm legally there mu mateeka kubanga etteeka litukkiriza mu mwaka ogusembayo okuba nga osobola okusala eddiiro ebigenda okuteesebwako ebinene endowooza bagenda okwogera ku budget ebirala sibimanyi nkyali mugole nkyali mu kisenge sinabakuzza muzigo ndowooza kaŋŋende ndabe ebitambula eno gwe mulundi gwange ogusoose okubeerayo nga memba wa Caucus ate gulabika gwe guyinza okusembayo okubeerayo nga memba wa parliament era ng'omugole obeera ku bunkenke simanyi byakwogera simanyi entambula bwetambula naye omukisa munene nnyo okuba nange ngenze negate kuba nange bagambe tuzze kukola ebyobufuzi ebyokusika omugwa bya kikadde era bikyamu twagala kuteekawo embeera nga enzigi zonna zisobola okwogera nze bwe ngendayo nze mbadde nkulira bannange ng'aba FDC nga kalondoozi waabwe nsobola okubalondoola n'ab'ebibiina ebirala ndowooza tusabe busabi ebintu bitambule bulungi olwa Katonda n'ensi yaffe.
Ababaka bangi bavuddewo ne baatula saidi wajje bagwa ku nsonga ya basipiika wa right honorable Anita Among n'aba Robert.
Nze kati ekiriko siri mu banaalonda naye nga okuwagira omuntu Anita Among ali waggulu nnyo kubanga bonna mbamanyi Honorable Mao namusomesa nga student wange Honorable Anita nenkola naye ebbanga mu FDC toyinza kugeza Anita Among n'omugeza ku muntu yenna wano aliwo mu parliament agasse enzigi zonna ayogera n'abantu olabanga asaagasaaga naye muntu ali serious ayisiza amateeka agandibadde amazibu mu nsi yonna n'ateekayo omutwe gwe nandibadde senga mbadde mulonzi nandibadde mulonda naye ng'omwagizi mpagira Honorable Anita Among.